Hi everybody, and welcome to the podcast on the circulatory system. Now, what you're looking at in front of you is, well, your body. And in a simplified form, but you'll notice, look what's right in the middle. It's our circulatory system. And it's right in the middle because it helps move things around from your digestive system and from your lungs and from your kidneys. It works with all these other systems in your body. And so its primary goal is to transport material from point A to point B. So for example, if you inhale oxygen into your lungs, that oxygen is going to get picked up by your blood and it's going to be carried all the way around to different other parts of your body and eventually make its way back if it's all depleted, and then we actually end up exchanging it and exhaling CO2. But our circulatory system is there to transport and to circulate. However, it looks a little different in different organisms. So for example, this organism on the left is a unicellular organism, and it still needs to transport things too. It needs to get good stuff from the outside in, such as food and oxygen, and it needs to get bad stuff such as ammonia and CO2 out. But that's not an issue because everything can just diffuse in and out of that single-celled critter. However, if we shift focus to multicellular organisms, we still have to do that too. However, over here, these poor cells can't do that. They don't have contact with the outside environment. So, evolution has devised a really good plan, a circulatory system. So it's just a more developed series of vessels that transport goods in and waste out. Now let's look at the components of a circulatory system. The first thing that we need is some sort of pumping mechanism. The second thing that we need are vessels to carry the third thing, which is some sort of fluid. Because if we're going to transport things, they need a fluid in which to be transported. So if you look at the picture above, that's like our circulatory system. We have the pumping mechanism right here. We have the vessels right here. And then the fluid would be floating in the vessels. And it's a completely enclosed system to transport. So we have that along with lots of other vertebrates. Now down below, this is a much simpler circulatory system. However, it does have a pumping mechanism such as a heart. It does have vessels. Yet those vessels are a little different. They're not completely enclosed. They start off closed, but then they open up to let the fluid kind of go wherever it feels, and eventually it'll make its way back to the pumping mechanism. But those vessels are much more open. And it does still have fluid, although that fluid may not be blood. It may be some other liquid. And so organisms that have this type of circulatory system would be grasshoppers like you see here, or simple invertebrates. Now, let's go back to us. Our system is the closed circulatory system, whereas the one on the bottom is referred to as open. And the primary difference is the vessels that we're dealing with. Are they completely closed off, or are there some that are still open? Let's zoom in on more of our heart. This is what ours looks like, and there are 4 different chambers in this heart. And there's some arteries and vessels and veins that are coming in and going out. But not all organisms have the same heart structure. So for example, here's another one very similar to us. This is a mammal, a horse. Has the same heart structure, but lizards and reptiles and amphibians have a little bit different heart structure. And yet fish have an even different one. But the bottom line is this: whether you're single-celled or multi-celled, you still need to transport materials. Now, depending on your size and your environment and your lifestyle, the strategies at which you go about doing that might just be a little different. So that's a look at the circulatory system.